Hey, this is Jimmy Jam.
And this is Terry Lewis.
Our new song featuring Babyface is called He Don't Know Nothing Bout It. And you're watching our Steve Harvey Ask Anything Chat. Want to thank Steve and iHeart Radio for having us on the show. Let's get to the first question.
First question is Monica from Pittsburgh. How you doing, Monica?
Hey, Monica from Pittsburgh. Welcome. So your question was, who made the call to get He Don't Know Nothing Bout It done? And had we planned on working together back in the day? So back in the day, it was interesting because there was a lot of thought that we were very much competitive between Jam and Lewis and LA and Babyface. As a matter of fact, we used to go to dinner sometimes together, and people would see us at a restaurant and they go, wait, aren't you Jam and Lewis? Yeah. Aren't you LA and Babyface? Yeah. And you guys are just having dinner together? It's like, yeah, we're cool with each other. So we were always admirers. I'll call it mutual admiration society of each other's work. A few years back, we were both fortunate to get into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And we kind of started thinking about things that we hadn't done. And one of the things we hadn't done was a Jam and Lewis album. We had the plans to start one about 35 years ago and never happened. So when we started thinking about the kind of album we wanted to do and the artists that we would want to work with, Babyface was on the top of our list. And we thought it was a great excuse to get together. So we really hadn't planned on working together back in the day, but we were, admirers of each other. And I think He Don't Know Nothing About It just came from actually a title that Terry had. And I remember when we were working together in the studio and Terry just walked out of the session and just on his way out, he just said, he don't know nothing about it. And it was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's great. And wrote the lyrics and put it together after that. So that was the way it all came together. It was magic. And Babyface was amazing to work with. And he trusted us. He let us produce him. I mean, he's a great producer, but he let us actually produce him, which was very cool. And the other piece of it was when the song was done, we actually played it for L.A. Reid because we figured that L.A. would have a very educated opinion on what he thought. And what he said when he heard the song was he felt like a cavity had been filled in his soul where he didn't know he had a cavity. And we said, oh, so you like it? He said, yeah, it's great. He said, it's the best I've heard Face sound in years. So he loved it. And that was kind of the stamp of approval for us. So hopefully you guys all like it too.
Yes, especially you, Monica.
Especially. So the next question comes from Nadine from Omaha. Terry Lewis, Omaha.
That's right. That's hometown. That's where I was born. Omaha, Nebraska, 17th and Sprague. That's it.
All right. Nadine from Omaha wants to know, can you tell us more about the upcoming album and when you decided to start the project? Well, I believe it was back in 1975. No, it was 1985. 1985. Yeah. We had started working on, after we had gotten fired, or as Terry likes to say, freed from the Times.
Yes,
freedom. We started working on tracks for what we thought was going to be our album, a Jam and Lewis album. And when we were finishing Control with Janet, John McClain, who was the A&R person for the label, he came up to listen to what we had done. And we played him Control and Nasty and When I Think of You and Let's Wait a While and Funny How Time Flies and Pleasure Principle, all the songs we played him all of those songs. And he said, like all A&R people say, I just need one more. We said, John, what are you talking about one more? Come on, we got all these songs. I think we're good. He said, no, I just need one more. So we said, I forget that. So we get in the car. I think we're going to eat somewhere. And we have a cassette. And on the cassette is songs from our album, or at least tracks for our album. And we started playing those for him. And about the third one in, he said, that's the song I need for Janet right there. And we were like, no, what are you talking about? He said, I need that for Janet. He said, just play it for her. And if she likes it, she can have it. And we were like, what? We're just having our song hijacked from us? I mean, come on. Anyway, the next day we went to the studio. We're in Minneapolis, working in Minneapolis. We put the song on. Janice just kind of sitting on the couch watching TV. You see her start kind of bobbing her head a little bit, and then she comes to the door. She kind of is like jamming, and then she looks at us and points at us. When the song goes off, she says, "Who's that for?" And we said, "Well, you if you want it." And she said, "Oh, I want it." That song became "What Have You Done For Me Lately?" And basically started her career and ended our album project. So now 35 years later, the project is happening. But that's when we decided to start the project. And I think that the album really is all our favorite artists that we've either worked with before, many of whom we've worked with before, and a few new ones that we hadn't worked with before, but it was a great excuse to work with them in making an album. And the goal of the record is just to make you fall in love with the artists again that you've always loved, and also for the artists to fall back in love with themselves again, you know? And if that gives you that feeling of when you hear the song, when you hear the Babyface song, if you feel like, oh, I love that, I love it, that makes me remember why I fell in love with Babyface, then we've done what we set out to do.
Very well said.
Thank you.
Well, we got the next question from Christy from Greensboro, North Carolina, one of our places that we toured and had a great gig there. Remember, was it Cosmos or something was there?
Yeah, Cosmos sounds right. It was something like that.
Yeah.
I think that question's for Babyface though.
Oh, okay. Wrong.
I think we're like every other one. But okay. Greensboro, hey, but we love Greensboro though.
Yeah.
Faith's gonna have to answer that one for you. But we just want to shout out Greensboro.
Yeah, Greensboro.
That was one of the first sauce towns.
In Greensboro. Love Greensboro.
I know. Leona from Columbus.
Yes.
Says, when was the first time you all crossed paths with each other?
Man, the first time that we crossed paths was actually in Minneapolis at First Avenue for a Deal concert.
Yes.
If that's crossing paths in a proper way. That's when we first probably just met. But we didn't hang out. But it was the first meeting. And the first time we hung out, I think, was in LA. We met here in Los Angeles. And I think we actually ended up going to dinner, I believe. After they got established, they had established some things. I'm trying to recall.
No, I think, you know what, T? I think, was it Carlos and Charlie's or somewhere like that? I remember, because I remember we were just like hanging out. Like it wasn't a dinner thing, I don't think. Or maybe we went to Carlos and Charlie's after the dinner. Maybe we had dinner first and then went. Because I remember going to Carlos and Charlie's and I remember we heard I Want Her by Keith Sweat. And we were talking about Keith Sweat, but we were also talking about Teddy Riley, like how talented Teddy Riley was, right when he was brand new. And I remember having that conversation with those guys back then. But yeah, it was, early 80s for sure. And the fact that we both came from bands, us The Time and them The Deal, was really interesting. So we had a lot in common and a lot to talk about. So, but that's when we first crossed paths. One's at First Avenue for sure in Minneapolis, and in LA, I think a place called Carlos and Charlie's might have been where it was.
Madame Zenobi's.
Madame Zenobi's. Love that.
Thank you, Leona.
Jordan. Thanks, Leona. Jordan from Houston says, will there ever be a Flight Time documentary?
I can absolutely say absolutely. There will be a documentary. When is the question?
Right.
We've been gathering information for many, many years. And I think the toughest part about doing a documentary is putting that data together and not feeling like the story is done. So we're still writing the story. So I guess it's an ongoing documentary. As we go along, we'll compile it in some kind of way and get it out there. But I guess we never want to arrive at done. So it's a sketchy thing right now, touch and go. But there will be information out for you to watch and see about our lives as producers.
Yeah, and I think we're planning on doing a lot of things in the making of our album, in the Jam & Lewis album. There will be a whole lot of different elements to that where you'll get a sense of kind of the history of the songs, the history of kind of the process of writing the songs and producing the songs and that kind of thing. There'll definitely be that. And then, yeah. So, yeah, it's more the when. When will we actually do it? But there will definitely be a documentary done. So thank you, Jordan, for asking that.
Yes. Next question is from Donna from Tampa. When will we see all three of you together performing the song on TV? When I get my TV grant. TV.
TV.
Yes.
Well, first I got to get a TV, and then we hope soon. We're actually in the planning stages of that right now, kind of figuring it out. You have to remember that, you know, Terry and I have done a lot of things. The one thing we haven't done is be artists. So it's funny when we get asked those kinds of questions. When are we going to shoot our video? When are we going to, you know, do the, you know, go on different shows and perform and that? Those are things we never had to think about before, because when the song was done in the studio, then the artist took the song and did those things, and we just then started on the next project. So this is the first time they were actually the artists, and so we have to think about the performing on TV shows and radio interviews and question and answer like we're doing now and those kinds of things. So we're enjoying the process. We're still learning a little bit about it, but it's great to interact with the fans. So we are loving that part of it. So yes, I will say we'll be performing the song on TV soon. Just don't know when soon is exactly. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Donna from Tampa.
Yes.
I think that might be it.
Yeah.
So listen, we want to thank everybody for coming on and watching our exclusive Steve Harvey Morning Show, Ask Anything. And y'all didn't not only ask, they not only asked anything, but it was good anything. These were some really good questions, some really good questions. Now, in case you haven't heard it, we do have a brand new song with our friend Babyface. It is called He Don't Know Nothing Bout It. Not to be mistaken for, he doesn't know anything about it. No, he don't know
nothing
about it.
That's right.
So,
but he better learn.
Yeah, but he better learn. That's right. Anyway, want to thank Steve for having us today. Thank you so much, brother. We go back with that brother so far, and he's been a supporter of ours since the first early days when we were first cranking out records. So we really appreciate you having us on, Steve, and being able to meet your fans and people asking great questions. We love that. And most of all, we want to just let everybody know to please stay safe and healthy. We need you around. Okay. So be safe, stay healthy. Put your mask on.
That's right.
Yep. And be safe.
Protect each other. Love each other.
Yes, exactly. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the music. We're going to keep making it. We hope you keep enjoying it.
That's right. Peace.
Bye.
All right. Cool.